to use the spa, you're going to turn all your pumps off. You are going to turn this valve and that valve the opposite direction.
The left.
Okay.
And then you can turn your pump back on.
Okay.
And that's gonna make it to where it's only circulating and filtering the spa water.
Okay.
Okay, so once you do that, this right here where the light is at the top is in standby mode.
Yeah.
Okay, whenever I hit it one time, that's gonna put it, and that tells you what the water temperature is right now.
Okay.
So 56, and what you would do is anytime that you're not using the spa, you want to put it in standby mode.
Yeah.
That's going to turn the heater make the heater where it does not come on. So other than that, since you don't have electric valves or anything that turn, it doesn't matter which one of these two it's on. One would mean spa, one would mean pool, but that doesn't matter. If it's on, the light is on one of these two, then it's going to come on to whatever temperature that you set it to.
Got it.
Okay? See it trying to come on right now. So I'm going to go back to standby. This is your gas that valve
Right.
would be turned on.
Right.
Does
But-
that always stay on after they come in and?
You can leave that on.
Oh, you can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
hmm So what you would do is you'd go down, and I mean, here's something that you could do if you wanted to. You could set this one to a certain temperature and that one to a different temperature, just as if you wanted to make it to work. Because once the temperatures
What's
are
the
in-
middle one do?
What's that?
What's the middle one?
Spa.
Okay, so that would mean spa. That would mean pool.
Okay.
But that's just going to be if you have valves that would electrically turn.
Okay.
Does that make
So
sense?
it doesn't matter which one you put it on
No,
because it's all going to go through the same valve.
exactly. Once these are turned one way or the other, that's the water it's going to heat.
Yeah.
So if you, for example, if you were going to heat the pool and the spa,
Mm-hmm.
heat the pool first because that's heating all the water. You're gonna have the spillover. All the water's gonna heat.
Yep.
So say you wanted to heat the pool to 80. Heat all the water first and then switch and heat your spa because then it's already gonna be 80. Go up to like 90 or 100.
Now, if you're going to do if we're going to heat because we may do this. If we're going to heat the pool first, but then do you want to heat them both at the same time?
Okay, so if
Or does it matter?
if you're heating the pool,
Yeah.
you can only heat one or the other at once. Does that make sense?
Well, the spa will be the same temperature as the pool if you're heating the pool, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
That's what I
And
thought.
so that's what I'm saying. As far as if you're gonna heat both,
Yeah.
heat the pool first, get all the water to 80,
Yeah.
and then heat the spa to
If you wanted to-
100.
okay, gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
to make it to where because if you heat the spa and then you heat the pool, your spa water is gonna be not hot anymore.
And again, it doesn't matter which setting, the second or third button.
No,
Doesn't
so
matter.
so what it's gonna be is say you can set once you set like your temperature. So I come down here and I set the temperature to say I set it to like 100.
Yeah.
I could set that one to 100. I could set that one to 80,
Okay.
and
It saves it.
I'm 99% sure it saves it.
Okay.
So that would mean that all you have to do is go
Perfect.
just click down there. It's gonna
Okay.
be working.
Got that.
Okay, we're in standby, so good.
Okay. Now I know if we're gonna heat the pool, what do we do with the valves? We put them back to the normal way.
Where they are right now.
Okay.
hmm And the way that you know that is this right here. It says closed.
Yeah.
That means that the spa is closed off.
Okay.
Face it the opposite direction. The spa is open, and that's what's filtering.
And what does spa return mean?
That's gonna be that. So that's the water coming from the spa and going through the filter and back.
Okay.
These only go to here. These.
Yeah,
Or did
it's
they
gonna
go
it's
all the
gonna
way?
be
Okay.
it's gonna turn, I believe, this way to close off.
To close.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's
These we don't need to worry about.
don't need to mess with.
Okay.
Ever?
Actually, I mean, you could. If you ever wanted to close off the main drain, which I don't think you need to get more suction out of the skimmers, the only reason for that would be when you're vacuuming the pool,
Okay.
which I'll do. So when you vacuum the pool, I've done it a million times. You don't need to. You really don't need to mess with any of those valves because
Okay.
what you do is you turn the pump on high.
Yeah. To create enough suction.
And then all you need to do is get a tennis ball, close up one of the skimmers with a tennis
Got it.
ball,
Okay.
and you get plenty of suction out of high speed. With that.
Okay. So don't mess with the bottom valves.
Nope.
Switch the top valves if you're
Don't
doing the
worry
hot
about that
tub.
either?
Nope.
Blue valve.
What is that?
I honestly don't know what that's to. What do y'all? Do y'all have any weeping walls?
Uh-uh.
No.
Is there a label on that side of it?
Nope. It's just an arrow.
Oh, we could ask Sky what that is. I
Yeah.
guess. What's the clear plate for?
That is a check valve. That makes it to where when the pool's turned off, the water doesn't try to go back to the pool from the spa, which would
Okay.
make it drain down. It would make it drain down to pool level. So that.
Okay.
Okay, I missed when you were talking about the chlorinator. That's this thing?
Hmm.
Okay, and that's what you open up to put the tabs
The tabs.
inside.
Yep.
Okay.
And the dial you
There's a
just
dial.
adjust. Yeah.
What's a recommended adjustment for summer? All the way open?
Well, in the summertime, you're gonna want to run your pump on a higher speed
Yeah.
for 10 to 12 hours a day.
Right. But you
Um,
said you could break that up in the morning and the afternoon, right?
Yeah, you could, but you're definitely going to want to go up in speed in the summer.
Yeah.
And that's whenever you can. I would to be honest, to start out in the summer, I would run your pump at a higher speed for 10 to 12 hours a day, and then I would just start with it on maybe 2 or 3. See how your tabs are going down, and plus, it depends how many people are in it,
Yeah.
and
What's a normal dissolve rate for a full stack of tabs?
to be honest with you, I never put a full stack in there,
Okay.
just because I would only put 3 in there a week.
Okay, got it.
Because that's the issue. Once you start putting full stacks in there and they dissolve down, your chlorine's probably getting way too high. Your stabilizer's it gets too high.
Okay.
I would just, because when you figure out what your pool needs, you put that in there, you set the dial, and you need to test your chlorine and your pH weekly.
Okay.
And where do we store? Like, could we store the chlorine back here? Or
Yeah.
You want to keep it
Chlorine would be
outdoors?
fine. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, and what do you recommend as far as how do you test this? Do you buy this stuff on Amazon or the
Testing the
little,
water.
Yes.
I brought y'all some
tabs.
strips.
Oh, you have strips.
Mhm.
Okay.
What if we need to drain the pool? Like it's too high. You just use the overflow.
You would. To be honest with you,
Why would we drain it? Why do we
Well, my
drain it?
parents drain it if
You-
it gets
you-
too high, but they don't have an overflow.
Oh, okay. Well, we do.
I'll
Yeah.
check with Bill, but yeah, I'm not positive. I mean, obviously you could put a pump in there, but
Nah, there's a way where you suck it from the
it might
main
be what
drain
it might
down
be what
to
the
like
blue
the.
valve is.
That might be what it is.
That it really might be.
Well, it says main drain.
Well, it's open,
Oh, that's
so I don't know.
Where it says main drain there, that's just the drain at the bottom of the pool that's getting it's getting some suction that filters the water.
I gotcha.
You're getting suction through the main drain and the skimmers.
Do you think that's the since it's going to the booster pump? Do you think that's for the Polaris? The line for the Polaris?
Your Polaris always that's the thing about the Polaris. If your main pump is on, your Polaris is always getting water going through it.
Yeah.
So, to be honest with you, I'll check with Bill. I'll take a picture of it, but it very well. I mean, it could be a drain, but I'm not positive.
Okay.
What else? Okay, so you have chlorine, pH,
Okay.
alkalinity, calcium, and stabilizer. Chlorine and pH you need to test weekly. But on those strips, it's going to have a test for alkalinity too, so you can see what it is.
Okay.
But once the alkalinity is in range, it should hold to where you can. It'll hold probably monthly for that. So chlorine and pH are what you're going to need to test weekly. Calcium, alkalinity, stabilizer. Those are things that you can test monthly.
Okay.
And what I recommend for I would say once a month, take a water sample into Texas Tom's,
Okay.
and he can give you a complete computer printout of your levels. He'll write on there what you need to add. That's something that you can do to test your calcium and that sort of thing.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. I think that's just another
Echo Star switch, and then that's the light for.
Gotcha. So that's another EcoStar switch. That's pretty much it. I'm going to take a picture of that valve and see what that is.
Can you show us how you test with the test strips?
Oh,
since
yeah.
You brought some. Okay. Should we go?
Sure.
Okay. I gotta pick that up.
Huh?
Poop.
Yeah. Got that on video.
Me talking about poop?
Yep.
And where do you buy these from?
Texas Tom's. They're really good. That's who I recommend
Right.
going to.
He changed his name though.
Oh,
Yeah,
did he?
Yeah. I don't like the new name. What is it? It's like
Penny pincher.
Penny
something.
Pincher.
Oh, is that what he changed his?
That's what he said he was gonna do.
I did see that. I didn't know that he was changing the name of his whole company.
You just dip it.
You just dip it.
The pool and spa.
It's all
It's all
the
the
same.
same.
Yeah. You just dip it, and then you're gonna hold it up to this. Give it about 10 to 15 seconds. Let it go.
Lot better than the drops you used to have to do.
What's that? Yeah.
I used to put the drops in that
yeah.
thing, shake it. I used to do that.
Okay. So, pH is probably about between 6.8 and 7.2.
Is that good?
That's
It's
good.
okay. Okay,
Yeah,
so
but
it's
it tells
okay.
you there.
Okay.
Your chlorine is about 3.
Okay.
Your alkalinity is about 80. And your stabilizer is in the ideal range as well.
Okay.
Okay? It's just as easy as that.
So now, what happens if it's too low or too high?
Okay, so if your Oh, I didn't see it says wait 15 seconds there. Okay, so if your pH is high,
Okay.
you're gonna add. So the acid over there, the gallons,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna want to add maybe a quarter gallon at a time. Put your pump on high, let it circulate for a few hours at least, and then retest. You don't want to overdo the acid. Just put it just a quarter gallon.
Where do you put the acid in?
Just dump it in.
Oh,
I
dump
would
it.
put it when you add it to where the returns are, like
In the
any of
deep
those
end.
jets. Yeah, that's where I usually add it, and it's gonna spread very quickly.
Just
Dump it
like
in.
a.
Be careful whenever you do it because it's not. I mean, obviously, you don't want that on your skin. And yeah, you just pour about a quarter gallon at a time and
Okay.
let it circulate, and
Okay.
that's how you do that.
And what's that called? It's called muriatic acid.
Muriatic acid. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so chlorine, that's obviously going to be either tabs or shock. That's going to raise that level.
Let's go back to pH.
Okay.
So if the pH is too low,
You put the.
Okay, I forgot. I was going to that's pH and alkalinity go together.
okay.
So whenever your pH is low, the alkalinity. So what alkalinity does is it keeps, when you keep your alkalinity in range, it keeps your pH from bouncing. So if your pH is high, you're going to add about a quarter gallon of acid.
Mhm.
It's going to bring that level down.
Okay, pH high.
The alkalinity is low, you're going to add sodium bicarb.
Okay.
That's going to bring your alkalinity up, and it's also going to bring your pH up.
Okay.
So you want to get your alkalinity in range, and then you want to come back and get your pH where it needs to be.
Got it.
Because the alkalinity is going to keep your pH from bouncing too high or too low. Stabilizer, that's going to be, I want to say there's a couple different options, but what I use is a granulated stabilizer. But to be honest with you, I don't. If you need to add, Tom, when you go get it tested, he'll tell you if you need to add it. But
Okay.
the tabs are going to have it in there for the summertime when you use those, and that's going to get your level of that up. If he tells you to add some, he will, and he's probably going to tell you to add it to your skimmer with your pump on high, and you need to run that continuously.
Okay.
Calcium, it's another thing that you don't have to, once you get it in range, the only thing that's going to knock it out is when your water getting diluted by rain and stuff like that.
Okay.
But that's just going to be calcium, basically pellets that you put in and you brush.
And does it tell you how much to add based on your level?
Yeah, it's, let me think of what it is. I can send it to you, but it's based on your pool gallon size. I would say to raise it probably 50 or so parts per million. It might be 8 pounds.
Okay.
That's just, but if you, like, I totally recommend going to Tom, because for calcium and stuff like that, he's going to tell you based on your gallon size of your pool how much calcium to add, how much.
Does he have all that
stabilizer.
information? Or how, do we have to give him that information?
See, the thing is he would have, but all of his stuff got flooded. But he's about to reopen, and
Yeah.
he'll be able to. I'll get your. Do y'all know your exact gallon size?
I don't know it.
Scott does.
15.
My guess would be about 15. But I can, if it's not, I can get it from her and
Yeah, that'd be
get
great.
it to y'all. Yeah, and he'll put in all the information, and then he'll have his computer test back up, because I think they're about to move locations.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
but,
he told us that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
that's pretty much
And what
it.
about, okay, so if we have low chlorine, how much should we add? For you do shock?
Okay, so if you have low chlorine, you can either use tabs,
Yeah.
which in the summertime, that's the time that you're going to want to keep your chlorine. That's why you would use tabs. Then you're going to constantly have water going over and dissolving that chlorine, because that's whenever stuff's going to want to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can either use that or you can shock it. Which in the wintertime, I would wait until this chlorine goes down to like really low.
Uh-huh.
And then I would make sure the pH is in range first,
Okay.
because that's going to make the shock work the best. And just a pound of shock will be fine.
Okay. Yeah, because we're only shocking in the winter. Now.
No. You shock in the summer, like whenever you're.
No, I mean we don't do tabs.
You
in the
don't.
winter.
You really
Yeah,
don't.
'cause
You
of the
really don't.
stabilizer. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just you can get away with just shocking in the winter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the summer.
The summer, say you have like, it's one of those things. So like, if you had a party over here and you had a bunch of people swimming and that chlorine level gets down to like 0, the next day you might want to adjust your pH and then shock it,
Okay.
just to kind of zap it.
Yeah.
You know.
When you say shock, are we going? Let's go over this again. Is that when you put the tabs in?
Nope,
Or is
shock-
that when you put the acid in?
Okay,
It's
so
not acid. It's chlorine, right?
shock is granulated chlorine.
Yeah. And we just
Okay.
you like broadcast it in, right?
Yeah, and so when you shock it, you're gonna kind of spread it along the edges
Okay.
and just brush it really well.
Rush.
Just brush everything. Like whenever you shock the pool, adjust your pH to the right range,
Brush the entire pool.
and I mean just brush all of that shock and
Oh,
make sure it's
get it in
all dissolved.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Do it along the edges and then brush
Gotcha.
it.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and
Yeah.
just brush it. It's gonna be like a cloud of white in
Okay.
there, and you're gonna want to run your pump for 24 hours when you shock it.
Okay. 24 hours.
Do you know what to buy to get this shock? Do you know what
Tom will have it.
Tom will have?
Yep.
You just say, I need to shock my pool, and
There, there's some different options.
Okay.
They sell it in like 1 pound little pouches, or you could
Okay.
buy like a bucket of it.
Okay.
Okay.
I also noticed that you use the muriatic acid to clean the calcium off the tiles. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay. So you just you dump it a little bit and it comes off.
You can. Yeah, there's a couple different ways. You can use you can mix parts of water in like a spray bottle with the calcium. I mean
Okay.
with the acid.
Okay.
But yeah, if you have any more of that issue, just let me know and I can probably come over here and help y'all with it.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
Maria. I mean, I'm sure we'll have some.
Oh yeah,
I'm
just
sure we
text me
will.
whatever. These
Sure.
are y'all's.
Okay.